you to, thanks to Nick. And actually, I just want to say that it's absolutely brilliant to be here. This is the first time that we've had like an in-person event since pre-COVID, and it's absolutely brilliant to see so many of you here. So, I've gone the wrong way as well. Here we go. So, so I'm Fiona Mason, Head of Business Engagement and IP Commercialisation. And I work in the Research, Innovation and Enterprise Office, and you've heard from Linda Wallace earlier, so she's our Head of Knowledge Exchange in that stream, in that department. And I've worked at the university now for 12 years. I started in 2011 as an innovation manager, and I came from the pharmaceutical industry. I came from a highly competitive, American, profit-driven sort of company that was really worked to standard operating procedures, that sort of thing. We had clear products to sell and a clear line of sight. And then I came into the university sector, and I was asked to do something called technology transfer and knowledge exchange. I'd never heard those terms before. And apparently, I discovered that they were actually relatively new still in the university sector at that point in time. And actually, Linda mentioned it was probably 15 to 20 years ago, really, that those terms and that sort of like support became available in the university sector. So I was employed to do something also called bridging the gap. These are all really novel for me, but it was really pushed on me to do something like that, because our academics and our researchers, they were so busy, they're teaching, they're doing research. They found it really difficult to reach out to industry, and they found it really difficult to sort of navigate that ecosystem. Again, that Linda had produced that slide, that very sort of complicated slide of our wider ecosystem. But on top of that, industry had absolutely no idea how to interact with us. We were really complex organisations, and I've mentioned I had just come from industry, and that completely resonated with me. I have to admit, it probably took me about 2 years to fully understand what a university was all about, because even though I came from an innovative organisation, the scale of innovation at our university was just off the chart, and it blew my mind, because regularly, on a regular basis, our academics were just doing everything all the time, and all crazy subjects. Anything an industry partner had a challenge with, we had a solution for. So there was no clear product. There wasn't any sort of clear route. We had to create it. We had to create it from scratch every single time. Every route to impact was its own, unique journey. And this was because as well, universities and businesses are very, very different organisations. We speak a completely different language. We have different priorities. We have a different set of objectives. So roles like mine that were put in place, not just at our university, across the entire sector, were absolutely required. And this was because we needed to innovate. But we weren't just innovating for the sake of it. We needed to innovate with intent, with impact. And that was especially true for Edinburgh Napier, because we were a post-92 organisation, and we prided ourselves on our close-to-market research. So we were looking to have a greater depth of impact with our research. So we absolutely had to collaborate with industry in order to achieve that. So that's what I did. That's what we all do in our jobs. We were helping collaborative R&D. We were building consortia and networks. We were reaching out to industry, finding out what their challenges were, and equally, we were trying to understand all the breadth of work that our academics did, so we could sort of create synergies in the middle. And then we were also tasked with, at the time, with developing and managing our intellectual property portfolio, which was absolutely massive, and it was anything, all our outputs arising out of our research, and how to turn them into, and as Frank was talking about then, or if it was possible, high impact spin-out companies, or leading to licensing opportunities. So one of the first things I learned in doing all of that was that knowledge exchange was an absolute contact sport. I mean, there was no way I was doing this in isolation. I absolutely depended on our funders, critical components of our ecosystem. You don't have funding, you don't have anything. We needed our other stakeholders, we needed champions, we needed sponsors, we needed industry, we needed people, resources, space. It was an absolute minefield. So I discovered really quickly that I needed to be a connector, I had to be an enabler, I had to be a bridge builder, we all had to be. So, as I said, it was so hard. It really resonated with me that industry found it so hard to work with us because we were completely like different beasts. But that was a problem, not just for us, it was a problem for all of us. We're here today to talk about tech innovation. We want to inspire more. We want to create the next tech unicorn, but if we can't get the basics right, okay, if we don't know who to talk to, if we can't make those very basic, simple, fundamental like connections, how on earth can we move forward? But that was 12 years ago now. So yeah, 12 years. I can't believe I've been that long, but it's an exciting place to work, I should say, as an aside. And in that time, so there's been an absolute enormous change in our ecosystem and within our university. If I was to look back now at what our university was like then to now, it's unbelievable, phenomenal change. There's been incremental, evolving, positive, impactful changes across everybody. Our funders are more aligned. Some great talks about the alignment because we're listening to industry. The government, new policy, process, initiatives. It's really incredible. So, and there's been so much change here at Edinburgh Napier. You heard from our Dean of the School of Computing, Engineering and Built Environment. That's now a merged school. And we're doing that because we're trying to innovate better and more effectively with intent to impact, and we want to achieve impact. So really, there's never been such a good time as now for innovation. So, I hope then you're with me when you can see my pain when I read this latest NCUB report, which came out in 2022. NCUB is the National Centre for Universities and Business, and they regularly do reports on university and industry interactions. You heard from Linda earlier. There's been multiple, really seminal, pivotal reviews on that topic because everybody's trying to do it better. So NCUB did a survey in, I think it was it 2000 and sort of like 1920. I think it started on the motivations. Are we important to industry? Is it something that actually industry still wants? Are we a crucial part of the ecosystem? And then obviously COVID happened, and the bottom fell out of everything. And so they joined COVID onto that as well to say, was the impact of that, was it wider and broader than we sort of anticipated? And then that result came out last year. And I'm absolutely gutted to announce one of the main findings was that we are still difficult to work with. I find this absolutely incredible, and it's because I work in this, and I see my colleagues and everybody, our partners, our funders, our stakeholders. I see everybody like literally knocking their pans in to improve this. So I genuinely am really upset about this, and obviously it's not just our universities, the whole university sector, and it can only go back to the fact that we're such different and complex organisations. But this report also alluded to the fact that apparently industry doesn't view a university as a united, cohesive organisation, but we're viewed as a federation of independent, autonomous academics all doing their own sort of like random things. So, and we just can't have that happening. That is a problem for us, for everybody, because if we are to innovate with impact, we must be able to collaborate, and it's absolutely critical that we know who to go to. There were other findings. There were 11 findings in this, and you should be pleased to know as well that universities are very so much part of the picture. We're an absolutely crucial component of the wider ecosystem. So that was really good to see, but I was really dismayed to see that. But I want to, and it's true, I have to say, we have to look upon that and see it's true. There's 3,823 businesses fed back, so we believe you, we've listened, we'll have to do more. And what our university has done then, which I've absolutely got the pleasure to do today, is to try and sort of like change that fact for you, change that reality. And I would like to introduce you to some of our bridge builders and ways that you can contact directly the people within Edinburgh Napier University. And Linda gave us a nice presentation earlier on our brand new innovation hub. So this is our brand new digital front door. And what we are saying here is we are one cohesive, united organisation. We are not a federation of, we have 885 academics and researchers. Please don't think you have to, like, on your own, try and navigate, you know, who on earth to talk to solve your problem. You can find out about it. We're open for business. Find out about it through this website. You can, you know, certainly, and please do. There's fantastic case studies there showing some of the impact of our ongoing research. But there are people behind this as well, human beings. I mentioned it was a contact sport. We work in the knowledge exchange team. And so I'd like to introduce you to some of our colleagues that you can directly speak to. So in the knowledge exchange team, so Linda Wallace heads up our knowledge exchange team. And then we've also got Nick Fannin, he's head of our enterprise in Bright Red Triangle. We can give waves if we like. We've heard from them already. And then we've got Matt Burge, who's sitting up there just now. Yeah, so he's our head of CPD and consultancy. And within our business development and relationship managers team, and these are the people directly responsible for supporting our schools. So this is the team here. So we've got Cathy and Jane. We've only got Cathy here today. And then we've got Maggie as well. So she's up at the top there. So we support different schools, but we are here to help you with all aspects. We're here to help businesses and industry. We're here to help the funders. We're here to help connect and enable and bring you all together. And we're here to help our academics. And we support collaborative RD, speaking to businesses, problem solving, consortia building, network organising, symposium organising. You know, we're here to bring people together, and we also manage the university's IP portfolio and help the development of that and the management of that, and bringing investors and, you know, everybody around the table, commercial champions, mentors, you name it. We're here and we help develop that journey of IP along with, and we work with Bright Red Triangle in that as well. So that we can try and create good licensing and impactful licensing and high impact spin-out companies. We've also got, and I've got the real honour of saying this as well, Royal Society are a very prestigious funder, and we have currently just awarded 2 additional ones at the end of last year, 3 Royal Society funded entrepreneurs in residence. And this is incredible, and I think actually we probably need a wee round of applause for that, because it's really amazing. So thank you so much. I don't know if Nanak is, I think Nanak is here today. There is Nanak. So yeah, so our entrepreneurs in residence are focusing on various aspects for us within tech. And Nanak is at the top, and he will be, you'll hear from him later. He is focusing on, well, they're all focusing on helping us sort of unearth our early stage pipeline within specific areas, and Nanak is supporting us with fintech and working with our alumni relations. And then we've got Professor John Innes, who is supporting Industry 4.0, AI and cybersecurity and that sort of thing. And then Robert Goodfellow is supporting our medtech. So they are an additional resource to our university. We've got them for the next 2 years to help our students, to help our academics, to help align, connect to networks and provide much needed industry insight and leadership. So you know, I've just introduced you then to the main practitioners in knowledge exchange. Please contact us. Don't think you have to navigate our university on your own. You know, the truth is, so I said we're knowledge exchange practitioners, but the truth is, you know, we all do knowledge exchange. Everybody does it. All components of the ecosystem do it, and our academics do it. And we're all bridge builders, because you know, there is a very big difference, and people were, the speakers were alluding to it earlier, between the intention of your original idea and discovery and concept, and then the resultant impact it has. And that bit in the middle, the wee picture of the wee tidy bridge, I mean, it's not as streamlined or as straightforward as that. It's that sort of like messy, sort of complex picture that Linda put up earlier, but we make it streamlined for you, see, so that's why it's a nice little picture. We'll make it easier for you, and you know, your route to impact is always unique. There's not this clear path, but that's why KE practitioners are experts in navigating that path, finding out who to go to. We'll introduce you to funders if you don't know them already. We'll introduce you to stakeholders, other businesses, we build consortia, and you know, other universities as well. But we do all have to work together on this, because it's only together on that journey are we going to create the impact that we want that's got you know, the societal, economic and environmental impact. So just before I finish then, so this is mostly about our collaborative R&D I've been talking about. but we very much also support the development and management of the intellectual property portfolio that occurs at our university. This is, again, it's a complex journey. This looks like a nice streamlined journey. It is messy and complex, and that's terrific, that's great. That's the nature of creativity, isn't it? It's the nature of innovation. It is going to be messy and loopy. This is an internal process. It's stage gated because we manage it, and we offer like seed funding at different stages. That seed funding is only to be used for external support, because this is where industry can help us. We are absolutely dependent upon industry insight and commercial champions and mentors to support our researchers and our academics evolve their idea to the stages that it needs to get to if the university is going to continue to protect it and to sort of like support it. So that takes me to my last slide. I've noticed Nick standing. Yeah, takes me to my last slide, which is like it's our call to action. So our call to action is, please come and speak to us, because we are open for business. We want to collaborate. We're here to turn our research into impact. That's what we're going to get out of it. We want to create impactful research. But you can also really help us. We need help with our early stage ideas. We need your insight. We cannot do it on our own. Everybody's saying that. That's the message everybody's been given. We're all just part of the cog of part of the bigger picture, but we all do something valuable, and it's only together, when we all come together, that we'll make it work. So please come and join our community. Thank you very much.